By the time the first alert came in, most people were already asleep. Snow fell lightly outside the city, dusting rooftops and parked cars like nothing in the world could possibly be wrong. Inside a glass office tower downtown, a single security monitor glowed in the dark. At 12:01 a.m. on December 13th, the system flagged an anomaly. Not a crash, not ransomware, just one word blinking on the screen. Day 1. Evan Cole stared at it, coffee cooling beside his keyboard. Evan wasn't a junior analyst. He wasn't a help desk guy either. He was Ridgeway Financial's lead cybersecurity engineer, the one they called when things went wrong and nobody else could explain why. He leaned closer, fingers moving fast. No malware signature, no foreign IP, no forced entry. Whoever got in didn't break anything. They walked straight through. Evan frowned. At 12:05, another alert appeared. This one hit the internal messaging system. Every executive inbox received the same message at the exact same second. On the first day of Christmas, your system gave to me. Below it was an attachment, a single spreadsheet, employee bonuses, salaries, executive compensation, including the numbers leadership had spent years making sure no one ever saw. By morning, the building buzzed with panic. Executives huddled behind closed doors. Legal teams flooded conference calls. PR drafted statements they hoped they wouldn't have to release. Evan stood in the server room, sleeves rolled up, jaw tight. This wasn't some smash-and-grab hacker chasing crypto. This was personal. At 9 a.m., the second message arrived. Day 2. This time, it didn't go to executives. It went to customers. Thousands of them. Loyal clients who trusted Ridgeway with their retirement savings woke up to emails showing internal notes attached to their accounts. High net worth, emotionally compliant. Low financial literacy, easy retention. Will not question fees. Phones started ringing off the hook. By noon, the CEO demanded answers. Can we stop it? He asked, voice tight. Evan didn't answer immediately, because deep down, he already knew the truth. Whoever this was wasn't rushing. They were counting. That night, Evan stayed late. Snow piled higher outside the windows as he traced access logs line by line. No brute force. No exploits. No mistakes. The credentials used were valid. Old. Retired. He froze. There were only 12 accounts like that. Legacy admin keys, created years ago during a system migration. Most had been deactivated. One hadn't. At 11:59 p.m., Evan's screen flickered. A live terminal window opened on its own. Text began typing. You missed one. Evan's breath caught. Who are you? He typed back. The response came instantly. Someone you forgot. Midnight hit. Day 3. The trading floor screens lit up all at once. A scrolling message replaced market data. Your profits were built on silence. Let's fix that. Then the transfer started. Not stolen. Redirected. Tiny amounts from thousands of dormant accounts, funneled into a transparent public ledger. A charity registry. Homeless shelters. Medical funds. Debt relief. The money wasn't disappearing. It was being exposed. Executives screamed. Lawyers panicked. And Evan felt something else creeping in. Recognition. This wasn't chaos. It was choreography. He dug deeper into the account history. The legacy admin key belonged to a contractor from 5 years ago. Name, Liam Archer. Status, terminated. Reason for termination, security risk. Evan pulled the file. Liam had warned the company about a flaw in the migration system. He'd sent emails, filed reports, requested meetings. Then he was quietly let go. The warnings were ignored. Evan leaned back slowly. Outside, church bells rang faintly through the snow. At 12:06 a.m., Evan's phone buzzed. A private message. No sender, just coordinates. And a final line. 9 days left. Tell them to listen, or day 4 won't be this gentle. Evan stared at the screen, heart pounding. Because for the first time since this started, he understood something terrifying. The hacker wasn't trying to destroy Ridgeway Financial. They were counting down to something far worse. And Evan wasn't sure which side he was supposed to be on. By day 4, Ridgeway Financial was no longer pretending this was a technical issue. It was a crisis. The lobby screens that once looped holiday greetings now showed muted news coverage. Employees avoided eye contact. Executives stopped answering emails unless legal was CC'd. Evan hadn't gone home in 2 days. He sat in the Security Operations Center, hoodie pulled tight, eyes burning as log files streamed past. Every system had been locked down. Every password rotated. every access point monitored. And still, at exactly midnight, the message arrived. Day 4. This time it didn't hit servers. It hit people. Every middle manager received a personalized email containing one thing: a recording, private performance reviews, closed-door conversations, comments never meant to leave conference rooms, promotable but not assertive enough, too emotional for leadership, diversity higher, good optics. Voices filled the office by morning, some angry, some shaken, some quietly humiliated. HR lines were flooded. Resignations began before lunch. Evan watched it unfold with a tightening chest. This wasn't just exposure anymore. It was dismantling. At 12:17 p.m., the CEO called an emergency board meeting. "Find him," she said flatly, "or this company doesn't survive Christmas." That afternoon, Evan finally went to the coordinates sent the night before. It was a church, old brick, modest, half buried in snow. Inside, the warmth hit him first, then the sound, children's voices rehearsing carols. Evan stood awkwardly near the door until a volunteer smiled and waved him in. Evan stood awkwardly near the door until a volunteer smiled and waved him in. "You here for Liam?" she asked. His stomach dropped. She pointed toward a side hallway. "He's in the basement, fixing the internet again." The basement smelled like dust and coffee. Cables ran along the walls. A single laptop sat open on a folding table. Liam Archer looked thinner than his employee photo. Older too, but his eyes were sharp. "You're late," Liam said, without looking up. Evan swallowed. "You're doing this?" Liam smiled faintly. "No, Ridgway did this. I'm just counting." "People are losing their jobs," Evan said. "People lost more than jobs," Liam replied. "I lost my name, my career, my credibility, all because I told them the truth." Evan hesitated. "Why Christmas?" Liam finally looked at him. "Because it's the only time people pretend to care about consequences." That night, day 5 arrived. This time, the breach went public. Ridgway's marketing database unlocked itself. Internal targeting strategies spilled online. Which neighborhoods were overcharged? Which demographics were flagged as low risk of complaint? Which clients were quietly deprioritized? The backlash was immediate. Stock dropped. Partnerships froze. Politicians distanced themselves. Evan watched the numbers fall and felt sick. At 11:58 p.m., he messaged Liam. "You've made your point." The response came slow this time. "I'm not done." Midnight. Day 6. The board members' personal accounts lit up. Not hacked. Activated. Shell companies. Offshore transfers. Bonuses paid during layoffs. Proof. Not rumors. Evidence. By morning, federal agencies were calling. Ridgway's lawyers stopped using words like contain and started using words like cooperate. And then the message changed. No riddles. No songs. Just one sentence sent directly to Evan. Day 7 requires a choice. Evan felt the weight of it settle into his bones. At noon, Liam called him for the first time. "I can end this," Liam said calmly. Evan closed his eyes. "How?" "I released the final breach," Liam said. "Or you do." Evan's heart raced. "What is it?" "Everything," Liam replied. "Every transaction, every secret deal, every name, including yours." Evan's breath caught. "What do you mean, including me?" Liam was silent for a moment. "You signed off on the migration," he said. "You didn't read my last report." Evan felt the room spin. "I didn't know," he whispered. "That's the problem," Liam said gently. "You didn't want to." Outside, snow fell heavier, blanketing the city in white. The call ended. Evan stared at the screen as the clock ticked toward midnight. 7 days down, 5 to go. And now the countdown wasn't just about Ridgway Financial. It was about Evan, and whether he was willing to destroy everything, or let the truth finish what it started. Evan didn't sleep. He sat alone in the operations center long after everyone else had gone home, the glow of monitors washing his face in pale blue light. Outside, the city was quiet in the way it only gets right before Christmas. Streets decorated, windows lit, people believing things were safe. At 12 a.m., the system clock ticked over. Day 7. No alerts, no alarms, just a notification sent to one place. Evan's personal email. Attached was a file he recognized immediately. The final migration report. The one he'd approved without reading. His digital signature sat at the bottom like a confession. Below it, a message. Truth isn't punishment. It's consequence. Evan's hands shook. He pulled up the internal archive, searching for Liam's original warnings. They were there, buried, marked as resolved, closed under his name. He remembered that week now. The deadline pressure, the board calls, the executive assistant standing in his doorway asking if the system was good enough. He'd said yes. By morning, the breach went internal. Every Ridgeway employee received a private dashboard access. Not customer data, not executive secrets. Their own work. Emails they'd sent warning about ethical issues. Complaints ignored. Risks minimized. Decisions overridden. The company watched itself in real time. Meetings were canceled. Desks sat empty. Security guards doubled. At noon, federal agents arrived. Not storming. Walking. Calm. Prepared. By day 8, Ridgeway Financial stopped trading altogether. The building that once glowed with confidence now sat dark behind caution tape and news vans. Evan stood in the lobby as agents moved past him. One paused. "Mr. Cole." "Yes. We'll need you later." That night, Evan went back to the church basement. Liam was already there, packing cables into a bag. "You called them," Evan said. "They were coming anyway," Liam replied. "I just saved them time." "You're ruining lives." Liam looked up slowly. "No, I'm ending a lie." Evan's voice cracked. "You said day 7 required a choice." "It did," Liam said. "And you made it." Evan stared at him. "By doing nothing?" Liam nodded. "That's how it always happens." Midnight approached. Day 9. The breach went beyond Ridgeway. It spread. Partner banks, shell companies, nonprofits used as cover. The web tightened. Politicians denied knowledge. CEOs resigned. Foundations froze assets. The story wasn't about one company anymore. It was about a system. By morning, the headline read, "The 12 Breaches, How One Countdown Exposed Corporate America's Blind Spot." Evan watched it on a muted screen as agents escorted him to a conference room. They asked questions. He answered honestly, for the first time in years. That evening, Liam sent one last message. 3 days left. Evan typed back, "What happens on day 12? The response took longer than usual. "That depends on you." Evan's phone buzzed again before he could reply. An encrypted file. Label, Day 10 Preview. He hesitated. Opened it. Inside was a live feed. A system he'd never seen. Connected to infrastructure far bigger than Ridgeway. Power grids. Transit systems. Emergency networks. Evan's blood ran cold. Another message appeared beneath the feed. "I can expose greed. Or I can expose fragility." Outside, church bells rang for evening service. Inside the room, Evan realized something terrifying. Liam had never needed him to destroy Ridgeway. He needed him to decide how far the truth should go. The clock on the wall ticked closer to midnight. 2 days left, and the final breach was already armed. By the time day 11 arrived, the city felt like it was holding its breath. News vans lined the streets outside Ridgeway's darkened headquarters. Regulators worked around the clock. Executives disappeared from public view. Donations surged to the charities exposed by the earlier breaches, not out of generosity, but guilt. Evan hadn't been charged. Not yet. He sat in a small government office, staring at a muted screen that showed the live system map Liam had sent him. Lines pulsed between nodes. Banks, utilities, transportation grids, quietly reminding him how fragile everything really was. At 11:47 p.m., his phone vibrated. Day 11. No fireworks. No spectacle. Just one sentence. Silence is still a choice. Evan stood, heart pounding, and walked outside. Snow drifted down, soft and steady, covering the city like a clean sheet pulled over something broken. People passed him carrying gifts, laughing, unaware how close everything had come to stopping. He dialed Liam. "You can't do this," Evan said. "You'll hurt people who had nothing to do with Ridgeway." Liam's voice was calm. "I know." "Then stop," Evan said. "You proved your point." "No," Liam replied. "I gave them a chance to listen. They only listened when it cost them." Evan swallowed. "What happens tomorrow?" A pause. Day 12 is truth without guardrails. The line went dead. Evan went back inside and made a decision that would follow him for the rest of his life. He didn't shut the system down. He didn't warn the media. He didn't run. Instead, he logged in, using his own credentials. At 11:59 p.m., Evan entered the terminal. Day 12. The final breach didn't crash servers. It didn't shut off power. It did something far more dangerous. It unlocked access. Every exposed system, Every hidden ledger, every buried transaction was released into a public archive, time-stamped, searchable, immutable. No spin, no edits, no narrative control, just raw truth. And then it stopped. No further commands, no escalation, no collapse. The world didn't end, but it didn't look the same either. By morning, arrests began. Resignations followed. New laws were proposed. Old ones were enforced. Some called Liam a terrorist. Others called him a whistleblower. Most never knew his name. Liam disappeared. No arrest. No goodbye. Just an empty church basement and a powered-down laptop. Evan resigned 2 weeks later. He testified. He cooperated. He lost everything he'd built. But he slept at night. On Christmas morning, Evan stood on his balcony watching snow fall over a quieter city. Somewhere, church bells rang again. Somewhere, systems hummed back to life, still imperfect, but seen now. His phone buzzed one last time. Unknown sender. A single message. The countdown was never about destruction. A pause. Then the final line. It was about reminding the world that systems don't fail first. People do. Evan closed his eyes as the bells rang louder. And for the first time in a long while, the silence felt earned. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more mysterious, emotional, and thought-provoking tales, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Your engagement helps us keep creating powerful stories that question the line between humanity and technology. Let us know which twist shocked you the most. Subscribe not to miss the next part. Until next time, stay curious, stay unseen, then be using this at the end.